नमः सर्वेभ्यः। व्योम संस्कृत पाठशालायाः कौशलसंवर्धनं संस्कृतव्याकरणं निबन्धलेखनं च इत्यस्य प्रक्रमस्य अद्य 11 पाठः। अद्य वयं सन्धिसम्बद्धाः काश्चन संज्ञाः ज्ञास्यामः। तथैव पदं नाम किं, तत्र प्रकृतिः प्रत्ययः एतयोः विषये अपि किञ्चित् पश्यामः। गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोर्मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। अस्माभिः एतावता वर्णानां विषये विस्तरेण अधीतम्। 64 वर्णाः शिक्षाशास्त्रसम्मताः। तेषां वर्गीकरणं कथं भवति? आदौ स्वराः व्यञ्जनानि एवम् अयोगवाहाः इति भवति। तत्र पुनः अन्तः प्रभेदाः, यथा स्वरेषु ह्रस्वः दीर्घः प्लुतः इति भवति। व्यञ्जनेषु स्पर्शाः अन्तस्थाः ऊष्माणः इति, अल्पप्राण महाप्राणाः इति, एवं कर्कश मृदु इत्यादि भेदाः अस्माभिः अवगताः। वर्णसमुदायः गुणिताक्षराणि संयुक्ताक्षराणि च ज्ञातानि। वर्णानां स्थानं प्रयत्नश्च इत्यस्मिन् विषये अपि गतपाठे वयं दृष्टवन्तः। कण्ठः, तालु, मूर्धा, दन्ताः, ओष्ठौ, नासिका, जिह्वामूलम् इत्येवं स्थानानि सन्ति। केषां वर्णानां किं स्थानं भवति इति दृष्टवन्तः। एवमेव स्पृष्टम्, ईषत्स्पृष्टम्, ईषद्विवृतं, विवृतम् इति 4 प्रयत्नाः सन्ति। येषां वर्णानां स्थानं प्रयत्नश्च समानं भवति ते सवर्णाः इति उच्यन्ते। एतत् सर्वमपि अस्माभिः दृष्टम्। ततः सन्धीनां विषये यदा पश्यामः, सन्धिः इत्युक्ते वर्णव्यत्ययः। वर्णव्यत्ययः त्रिविधः भवति। नूतनस्य वर्णस्य योजनं, विद्यमानस्य वर्णस्य निवारणम्, अथवा एकस्य स्थाने अपरस्य प्रयोगः इत्येवं त्रिधा भवति। तत्र प्रथमः व्यत्ययः भवति आगमः। नूतनवर्णस्य वर्णसमुदायस्य वा योजनं। So agama means bringing in a new letter. It could be a single letter or a group of letters. द्विविधः आगमः अस्माभिः दृष्टः, यत्र पाणिनिना आगमस्य स्थानम् अपि निर्दिश्यते. So Panini uses 2 marker letters to indicate the position of the agama. So the 2 letters used are T, that is takara, and K, kakara. So whenever T is added to an agama, it is called Titkaha agamaha. Whenever K is added, we call it Kitkaha agamaha. What is the difference? Titkaha agamaha आद्यवयवः भवति, कित्कः आगमः antavayavah bhavati. So if T is added as a marker, that agama will be added to the beginning of whatever we are adding. Similarly, if the agama is marked with kakara, we add it to the end. So an example, we have path dhatu. Adagamaha. Adagama means at. At means add an akara to the beginning. Right? So that T is like a code to say add. So a is the actual agama. It comes with a tag which says this is a titkaha agamaha. So when we see the tag, we add that to the beginning. So pathu becomes a pathu, apathat. Actually, this is the reason why, in Langlakara, a lot of people get confused when there are upasargas. Right? For example, if there is the upasarga prapathati, right? So pathati becomes apathat. So what happens to prapathati? So a lot of people, that is in the beginning stages, you just add to the beginning of whatever you see, aprapathat, etc., which is wrong. Why? It is an agama. Where are we adding the agama? Dhatoho adau. So that agama always finds the dhatu and attaches itself to the beginning of the dhatu. Right? So pra apathat, prapathat. Right? So gachati, or if you have say sangachati, it becomes sangachate, it becomes samagachata. Why? Everywhere we are adding the same agama, and the agama has the marker which says you have to add it to the beginning of the dhatu. अतएव उपसर्गः अस्ति चेत् तत् निवार्य धातोः आदौ अडागमः क्रियते, and then you have to do whatever is the sandhi. एवमेव कित्कः आगमः. If the agama is marked with a kit letter, then you are adding to the same dhatu. Both this adagama and this pugagama. Pugagama is puk, k as the marker. Both of them you are adding to the dhatu. But at, because at is marked by the takara, you add it to the beginning of the dhatu, whereas puk, the pakara, is marked by a kakara. So we add it to the end of the dhatu. So the p doesn't come before da, it comes after da to form dap, dadati, dapayati. In Nijanta, we have the agama called puk, which is added to the end of the dhatu. So whenever we are doing the agamas, that paying attention to that letter. Okay. So the marker letter helps us in deciding where to add the agama. एतद्दृष्टम्. इदानीम् अग्रे गच्छामः. तत्र सन्धिसम्बद्धासु संज्ञासु इतोपि काश्चन संज्ञाः अस्माभिः ज्ञातव्याः सन्ति. आदेशः, यथा दृष्टं वर्णव्यत्ययः त्रिविधः भवति. नूतनस्य वर्णस्य योजनं भवति, सः आगमः इत्युच्यते. अधुना आदेशः, आदेशो नाम कः? शत्रुवत् एकस्य स्थाने प्रयोज्यमानः वर्णः वर्णसङ्घो वा. If you remember, for agama, they said mitravat. Shatruvat adeshah mitravat agamah. Tyukte kim? Agamah agachati पूर्वं विद्यमानाः सर्वे वर्णाः तथैव भवन्ति. तेषां कापि बाधा न भवति. किन्तु आदेशः यदि भवति तर्हि पूर्वं विद्यमानः वर्णः वा वर्णसमुदायः वा निर्गच्छति, तत् स्थाने अयम् आदेशः भवति. It is like, say, there is a revolt and one king replaces the other king. Okay, so there was already a king who was sitting on the throne. So if there is a revolt or if there is an attack by an enemy, this older king is kicked out and a new king is placed on the throne. So that is adesha, replacement or substitution. पूर्वं यः वर्णः वर्णसमुदायो वा आसीत् तस्य स्थाने नूतनः वर्णः वर्णसमुदायो वा श्रूयते. So one or more of the older letters are replaced. We will not hear all letters of the original. So minimum one letter, sometimes more than one letter, is replaced by a new letter. And that is the difference between Adesha and Agama. Udaharanartham, Bhagavat Gita इत्यस्ति. भगवतः गीता. ह्यः एव गीता जयन्ती आसीत्. यस्मिन् दिने भगवान् श्रीकृष्णः गीतोपदेशं चकार. भगवत् इत्यस्ति. तत्र तकारः अस्ति. किन्तु यदा आदेशः भवति तस्य तकारस्य स्थाने अयं दकारः भवति. So that the is no longer seen. So when the comes in Bhagavad Gita, the earlier letter takara is gone. So dakara replaces takara. Bhagavad Gita. एवमेव गण ईशः इत्यस्ति. गण ईशः. अत्र अकारः ईकारः इति वर्णद्वयं पूर्वं दृश्यते. यदा वयं आदेशं कुर्मः, so the new letter A literally kicks out the earlier two letters A and E. So both letters are replaced by a single letter. It could be the reverse. For example, Vishnu A ityasti. Vishnu O A. Atra ओकारः अस्ति. ओकारस्य स्थाने av इत्यादेशः. So there are two letters which come in while the older letter A or O is sent out. So it could be any, the number does not matter. So it could be 1 in place of 1, or 1 in place of many, or many in place of 1. Does not matter. So यत्किमपि भवितुमर्हति. पूर्वं कश्चन वर्णः वर्णसङ्घो वा आसीत्. तत् स्थाने अपरः वर्णः वर्णसङ्घो वा भवति चेत् सः आदेशः इत्युच्यते. शत्रुवत् एकस्य स्थाने प्रयोज्यमानः वर्णः वर्णसङ्घो वा आदेशः भवति. तृतीयः वर्णव्यत्ययः भवति लोपः. Third kind of modification which is possible in letters. Varnanam adarshanam. So disappearance. Not seeing or not hearing a sound which was there earlier is called as lopa. Very simple. So we had Arjunaha uvacha. Arjuna visargah asti uvacha ityasti. Yada atra lopaha bhavati tada saha visargah na shruyate. So it has disappeared. We hear as Arjuna uvacha. Evameva taj ete ityasti. अत्र किं भवति? मध्ये कश्चित् यकारः अस्ति. सः यकारः न श्रूयते. त एते इति भवति. सो वर्णानाम् अदर्शनं लोपः इत्युच्यते. So modification, sandhi means modification of letters, and this modification is of three kinds: agama, adesha and lopa. So any sandhi we take will involve one of these. It could be an adesha sandhi, agama sandhi or lopa sandhi. एते एताः तिस्रः संज्ञाः अस्माभिः ज्ञाताः. A few more terms which are important to know in dealing with sandhis. One is called gunaha. Gunaha iti बहु प्रसिद्धः शब्दः, बहवः भिन्नाः अर्थाः सन्ति. So generally it is used to mean, say, attribute or quality, or sattvam rajas tama iti. There are three gunas which are the cause for the entire samsara and so on. Kintu vyakarana shastre guna shabdasya tadrishaha arthaha na bhavati. None of those meanings of guna apply in vyakarana. Tarhi vyakarana shastre gunaha namakah at ए ओ. अत् इत्युक्ते ह्रस्वः अकारः, एकारः, ओकारः, एते वर्णाः गुणसंज्ञकाः भवन्ति. Guna in Vyakarana is just a code word to represent three letters. There is no further meaning to guna. It just means a, and o. अत्र अ इति ह्रस्व अकारः एव, ए इति दीर्घः एकारः, ओ इति दीर्घः ओकारः. These three letters are called guna. किमर्थम् इति प्रश्नः मास्तु. तत्र किम् उत्तरं नास्ति. गुण इति नाम अस्ति तावदेव. अकार एकार ओकाराणां गुणः इति संज्ञा भवति. गुणसन्धिः इति वयं पठामः, प्रसिद्धः. किमर्थं गुणसन्धिः इति चेत् तत्र आदेशः, if we look at the adeshas in gunasandhi, it is a or o, and those letters are denoted by the term guna. That is why it is called guna sandhihi. एवमेव वृद्धिः इति शब्दः अस्ति. वृद्धि शब्दः अपि लोके अर्थान्तरे प्रसिद्धः. वर्धनम्, increase or prosperity इत्यर्थे. किन्तु व्याकरणशास्त्रे वृद्धिशब्दस्यापि तादृशः अर्थः नास्ति. आत् ऐ औ एते वर्णाः वृद्धिसंज्ञकाः भवन्ति. So in Vyakarana, Vriddhi is a code for three letters again, A, I and Au. Dirgha Akara, Aikara and Aukara. These three letters are called Vriddhi. वृद्धिः यत्र यत्र भवति, बहुत्र भवति. केवलं वृद्धिसन्धिः इति न. Though normally we think of only guna sandhi and vriddhi sandhi. Both guna and vriddhi are very wide terms which are used in many contexts. Wherever it is used, if there is a rule which says there is vriddhi, it means one of these letters will come into play. Similarly, if a rule says there is guna, it means one of those guna letters will be usually the adesh. Guna and vriddhi are generally given as an adesha. So in vriddhi sandhi, the adesha I and au belong to the term called vriddhi. That is why we call it as vriddhi sandhi. Okay. So guna is a, o, hrasva akara, dirgha ekara, dirgha okara. Vriddhi is a, I, au, all three dirgha letters only. Plutas do not have either guna or vriddhi samnya. So in guna, one is short. A is only hrasva, a and o are dirgha. In vriddhi, all three are dirgha. A, I, au. अत्र एकः विशेषांशः पुस्तके दीयते ऋ लृ वर्णयोः स्थाने भवन् गुणवर्णः अर् अल् इति वृद्धिवर्णः आर् आल् इति च भवति. This is a special rule. व्याकरणे अस्य विशिष्टं सूत्रमपि अस्ति. यदा वयं ऋकारस्य स्थाने गुणं कुर्मः, when we are required to replace R with a guna letter. Guna is a o. It has to be one of those, but it comes with an additional repha ar. Okay. So it's, I think, very evident. We have earlier also discussed that rikara it has a core of consonant repha along with the swara. Okay, so it retains that consonant even when it is getting modified. Most of the times, whenever it is modified to a different swara, it is like the repha comes out and tags along. So actually here the guna is a, but the repha part of it tags along as ar. So wherever there is a guna involving rikara, we hear ar. Similarly, wherever there is guna involving likara, we hear al. So r l varnayoh sthane bhavan guna varnaha ar al iti bhavati. So actually the swara is converted to a, the consonant portion is tagged along. Similarly, when we are doing a vriddhi, ar, al, the vriddhi is akara, but the repha and lakara is tagged along. Ayam visheshaniyamaha agre yada vayam gunasandhim vriddhisandhim cha pathamaha tada asya upayogaha bhavati. So all these you just have to note down. So everything we will recap and reuse when we are studying the individual sandhis. Agrimaha अथवा अग्रिमं padam, agrima samgya asti upadha. All these are technical terms of grammar. You should remember it is like definitions. So you should make a list glossary of Vyakarana. Every Shastra will have its own glossary, specific terms which are used in specific meanings. So this is like a list or a glossary for Vyakarana. So guna means a, o. Vriddhi means a, I, o. Upadha. Upadha is another term we use in Vyakarana. Antyavarnat purvaha varnaha upadha sanyakaha. So Antyavarnat purvaha varnaha, the penultimate letter. Varna. So Rama atra r a m a iti chatvaraha varnaha santi. Antyaha varnaha kaha akaraha. Antyavarnat purvaha varnaha, the penultimate letter, second to last. So first and last we usually easily identify, but many times the penultimate letter is also very important. It plays an influence, right? So many times we have a minister on the seat, but there is somebody else who is holding the strings behind, like a backseat driving. So this letter influences the joining or the rules many times. We see that it's not only generally, it is the last varna which will take part in direct interactions, but many times the letter previous to that is also important. Therefore, it is given a special name called upadha. So here, what is upadha? Makarah. So m is upadha in the word Rama. Path iti dhatuh asti chet p a th अन्त्यवर्णः ठकारः ततः पूर्वः आकारः उपधावर्णः. So it can be vowel, it can be consonant, anything. So the letter before the last letter is called upadha. Patha ityasti chet. So path धातुः तत्र अकारः उपधावर्णः. यदि तत्र विकरणस्य योजनं कृत्वा पठ इति भवति, प अ ठ अ तत्र उपधावर्णः कः? ठकारः. So always be very, very careful. So this path is different from patha. Always we have to be aware of every individual varna. Okay. Once we get into grammar, you should stop looking at patha as 2. It is 4. P, A, Th, A. Each varna has its identity. Each one is very important. Rajan ityasti. R, A, J, A, N. Antyavarnah nakarah. Tatah purvah akarah upadha sanyakah bhavati. So upadha, the term may be new, but there is nothing difficult about it. Just the penultimate letter is called upadha. So month, m, a, n, th. So nakarah upadha sanyakah bhavati. Okay. अग्रे गच्छामः. उपसर्गः गतिः इति पदद्वयम् उपयुज्यते. उपसर्ग इति तु प्रायः प्रसिद्धं सर्वैः ज्ञायते. गति इति अत्र समानम्. प्रादयः क्रियायोगे सति उपसर्गसंज्ञकाः गतिसंज्ञकाश्च स्युः. There is a set of 22 words. Pradayah. Pradi. We have seen when we did the dhatus, we saw bhvadi, adadi, divadi. So basically a set of dhatus. The first dhatu is bhu. So that set is called bhvadi. Similarly, if there is a set of dhatus, the first dhatu is div, we call it divadi. Similarly here, we have a set of 22 words. The first word is pra, so we call pradi. So pradi means a class or a group of words starting with pra, and they are 22 in number. These 22 words are called by two terms. One is upasarga, the other is gati. Etesham dvavimshatehe shabdanam upasargah iti samnya bhavati, gatihi ityapi samnya bhavati. Kada bhavati? Kriyayoge sati. Yada kriyaya saha sambandhah bhavati. Kriya kena uchyate, dhatuna uchyate. So action is conveyed by a dhatu. So when these are prefixed to a dhatu, they are known by the term as upasarga and gati. There are two different names, different purpose for different names. Right? So many times, even in houses, we have multiple names, one which is used by people inside and one which is a formal name. Actually, when Namakarana is done, formally there are 5 names in some traditions which are given 3 names or 5 names to the same person. There are different purposes. Right? So one of them is used for, say, all the traditional rituals. One is used just for calling affectionately, enclosed circles. One could be a formal official name and so on. So a single particle having multiple sanyas is possible. Here the same set of 22 get both names, Upasarga and Gati, when they are associated with dhatus. के ते इति चेत् तत्र पट्टिका दीयते. प्र, परा, अप, सम, अनु, अव, निस्, निर, दुस्, दुर, वि, आंग, नी, अधि, अपि, अति, सु, उत, अभि, प्रति, परि, उप. So it is a list starting with pra. So we call it pradayah. Pradayah means these 22. These are called upasarga and gati. So etesham smaranartham kachit karika asti. If you want to remember the list, they are mostly very familiar. By usage we know. But there is one generally the technique we use always for remembrance is to put it in the form of a shloka, because the rhythm helps in remembrance. So, prapara pasamanvavanirduravibhyadhisudati nipratiparyapayaha upa angiti vimshatiresha sakhe upasarga ganah kathitah kavina. It has a very regular tune, the tune of this Venkateshwara. In that Suprabhata we have that tune, Abhirama Gunakara, the second part called Stotra. So na 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 na, that is the repeated tune, and the tune is purely to help remember. If you split this pra, para, apa, sam, anu, ava, nir, dur. Remember, in this shloka, nir and dur are given as only one. But nis, nir, dus, dur, there are two varieties. Okay. So, abhi, vi, adhi, su, ud, ati, ni, prati, pari, api. Apayaha is bahuvachana. Upa, ang, iti, vimshatihi. So, this has 20. When we split nis, nir, dus, dur, we get 22. So this is just a shloka to remember this upasargas. The order does not matter. Okay. So whether you remember them in this order or the other order does not matter. There is nothing with order. Okay. Because they are not used in order. We use them individually or in combinations. So no logical sequence or nothing. The sequence does not matter. Okay, so again, so please listen when I am saying. So I already told there are two samyas and there are reasons. We cannot go into the reasons now. So for now, just accept that there are two different names. They have a purpose. We will learn those purposes when we move further on. Adhuna tu tatra kim karanam kimartham samyadvayam ityasya uttaram asmin stare datum na shakyate. Obviously there is a utility. Otherwise there is no point in giving a sanya. Another term is called nipataha. Okay, so this is actually a third samya, which is also for the pradis. So adravyarthaha pradayaha chadayascha nipata sanyaha syuhu. Yeah. So don't go into full meaning of this adravyarthaha etc. now. It means when they have an abstract meaning, not a material or an objective meaning. So pradayah chadayascha nipata sanyah syuh. Nipata is a name given to pradis plus chadis. That is, we already saw the set of pradis, which is 22. Along with that, there is another set called chadi. So by now, the pattern should be clear. Pradi starts with pra, chadi starts with cha. So there is a set of words. You don't really need to remember these. So it's a very long one. Only a few are mentioned here. Most of the popular avyayas are here. So cha, va, eva, evam, etc. So all these together are called nipatas. Okay? Nipata is actually a very wide term which includes most of the avyayas. So sarve nipataha avyayani bhavanti. So many avyayas are covered by the term. So a detailed understanding of what all is nipata we can get only when we studied the sutras. For now, you can just remember as the prefixes, the upasargas. I think most of us are familiar. Pra, para, etc. Those 22 are called upasarga and gati. Those 22 plus this set of avyayas, they are all together called as nipatas. So when we study the sandhis, tatra tatra upasargah asti chet sandhihi bhavati. निपातः अस्ति चेत् सन्धिः न भवति इत्येवं यदा उच्यते तदा उपसर्गो नाम कः निपातो नाम कः इति अस्माभिः ज्ञातव्यं भवति. Okay, so this is the first part of today's lesson where we learnt about some terms, adesha and lopa, guna, vriddhi, upadha. Then we saw about upasarga, gati and nipata. Okay. The next part, we will know a bit about pada. If you have any specific questions only about what we discussed just now, you can ask. If it is directly relevant, I will take. Otherwise, we will take it at the end of the class or sometime later. इदानीम् अद्य यदधीतं तत्र विशिष्य कोऽपि प्रश्नः अस्ति चेत् प्रष्टुमर्हन्ति. Utility of nipata. As I said, all the samyas have many applications in Vyakarana. So any sanya naming is for multiple utilities. It is usually not just one. So there are many cases. One utility is that it becomes an avyaya. Another utility is, as I said, sometimes in sandhis. There are many other cases also. So those have to be learnt when we go into those specific prakaranas. So in samasas, it may be used. It may be used in derivation of terms. Many. So when we are learning the definitions, we just learn with the understanding that application will come later. Is there any term in English for nipata? No, nothing exactly equivalent. Okay. So all these technical terms, there will not be equivalent terms in English because those are limited to this particular context. Upasarga may not be nipata also. It is, we already saw. So the pra, etc., they have all three terms. They are called upasarga, gati, nipata, each of them with a different application. Okay. So all further details, right, on when upasarga, gati, nipata, all those we will learn. I mean, maybe not at this level. There are distinctions and applications as of now. Okay. Kindly give few examples of nipata. We saw, no? I mean, the slide has so many examples. Cha, va, eva, evam. All of them are examples of nipatas. Is nipata list definite? Are there more? Yes, there are many more. This is not a comprehensive list. The one showed here, especially, it's only some examples. It is quite a big group. Are all avyayas nipatas? No. Avyaya is a bigger term. Okay, so if you look at it, say if it's like sets and subsets. So we have a huge list of, say, avyayas, within which you have a set called nipatas. Inside nipatas, we have upasarga, we have gati, we have chadi, multiple sets. Okay, so they are all nested sets. It's an interesting one, but the details are not for now. Okay, so I think we will move ahead for now. And then we will sometime later come back, or maybe at the end of the class if it is within scope. So there are many questions being asked, but all those it's not possible to explain out of the context. So the next major part, this again, it's very, very important basic understanding of Samskrita language. Okay, you don't have to master this now, but working from this ground understanding helps a lot in understanding you know, the kinds of words and how Vyakarana itself operates. There are three basic terms. Padam, Prakritihi, Tatha Pratyayah. एतेषाम् अवगमनम् अस्ति चेत् संस्कृतभाषायाः इदं वैशिष्ट्यं भवति, विशिष्य प्रत्ययः इति. कासुचित् भाषासु तथा प्रत्ययस्य उपयोगः न्यूनः, यथा आङ्ग्लभाषायां प्रत्ययाः इति कदाचित् भवेयुः, तथा नास्ति. भारतीयभाषासु बहुधा भवति, किन्तु संस्कृते यावत् प्रत्ययवैविध्यमस्ति तथा अन्यासु भाषासु नास्ति. It's a very, very unique aspect of Samskrita. So we need to understand that. So padam prathamam bhavati. Padam nama kim? Subantam tingantam cha padasamyam syat. पूर्वमपि इदं दृष्टमस्ति यदा वयं धातूनाम् अध्ययनं कृतवन्तः. संस्कृते पदं द्विविधं भवति. सुबन्तं, Ramaha, Sitayaha, Buddhimataha, any of the Shabda Rupas we see is a Subanta. Pathati, Likhati, Vande, Labhate. alabhata, lapsyate. All we have the tingantas. And only that, nothing else. That is the key point here. सुबन्तं सामान्यतः किं तिङन्तं नाम किम् इति सर्वे प्रायः जानन्ति किन्तु सुबन्तं तिङन्तं विहाय किमपि पदं संस्कृते नास्ति पदं द्विविधम् एव भवति अव्ययम् अपि सुबन्तं एव so even an avyaya is a subanta where there is lopa of the pratyaya, that is all. So we saw adarshanam lopaha तत्रापि सुप्रत्ययः भवति किन्तु प्रत्ययस्य लोपः जायते इत्यतः तत्र भेदः न भवति if you look at रामः रामौ रामाः राम इति प्रातिपदिकम् अस्ति तत्र भिन्नानां सुप्रत्ययानां कारणेन भिन्नानि रूपाणि भवन्ति यदि सर्वेषां प्रत्ययानां लोपः भवति what remains is only the base form. That is why avyayas do not have a change of form, but technically they are also subantas in which the supratyaya has been elided or deleted. अतः पदं द्विविधमेव भवति सुबन्तं तथा तिङन्तम् इति अन्ये ये शब्दाः सन्ति यथा कृदन्तः तद्धितान्तः समासः इत्यादि अस्माभिः उच्यते it is true but that is the second layer on the top layer all of those are subantas so even what you identify as say dasharathihi very popular example of tadhitanta dasharathasya patyam puman dasharathihi iti subantam padam like harihi we have dasharathihi dasharathi dasharathayah when we look at how dasharathi the pratipadika came about we say it is a tadhitanta but at the top level it is still a subanta subantam tingantam iti dvividhameva padam bhavati samskrite tatra तिङन्तानां विषये वयं विस्तरेण ज्ञातवन्तः तत्र धातुः भवति विकरणप्रत्ययः भवति आख्यातप्रत्ययः भवति धातुः नामकः इत्यादि सर्वमपि अस्माभिः पूर्वमेव दृष्टम् इदानीं सुबन्तस्य विषये किञ्चिदिव पश्यामः तत्र प्रातिपदिकं भवति यथा तिङन्ते धातुः भवति तथा सुबन्ते प्रातिपदिकं भवति प्रातिपदिकं नाम किम् इति यदा प्रश्नः भवति तत्र द्विविधं प्रातिपदिकम् अस्ति धातुः द्विविधः if you remember औपदेशिकः धातुः प्रत्ययान्तः धातुः इति धातुः द्विविधः भवति एवं प्रातिपदिकमपि द्विविधं भवति अर्थवत् शब्दस्वरूपम् any meaningful word which may not have a derivation. So there are two kinds of pratipadikas, derived pratipadikas and underived pratipadikas. Okay. The first term, so dhatu bhinnam, pratyaya bhinnam, pratyayanta bhinnam. It just excludes, it's not a dhatu, not a pratyaya, not a pratyayanta. Arthavat shabdaswarupam, a meaningful term. Generally, we have names, okay? Ditha, Davitha, ityadi namani. Yatra arthaha nasti. That is, what does Ditha mean? There is nothing it means. It is just a name of a person. Okay. So there is a meaning. What is the meaning? The meaning is just that person. There is no further derivation on that. It is not a meaningful name. That is, udaharanartham kaschit Ramaha iti nama asti chet, tatra we say Ramante yoginaha asmin. We derive that name from Ram dhatu. Most of the words in Sanskrita at least 95% of the words of Samskrita are derived. So in Pratipadikas, majority of Pratipadikas are derived. Dhatubhyah Pratipadikānam nirmānam bhavati. Kintu कानिचन पदानि सन्ति अथवा कानिचन प्रातिपदिकानि सन्ति यत्र पुनः प्रकृतिप्रत्यय विभागः नास्ति. So cha is just a word. There is nothing. You cannot further split it. So when I say just a moment. Sorry, there is a typo here. It is pratipadikam, not pratipadikam. Okay. So when I say arthavat shabda swarupam, it means it does not have any derivation behind it. You cannot split it further. It is an underived word which carries a particular meaning. Say cha, it means it indicates a conjunction, a samuchaya. Ha is an expression which indicates surprise or sadness. Dittha, Davitha, these are names which indicate specific persons. There is no further split up on these. Etani avyutpannani pratipadikani bhavanti. Yatra punaha prakriti pratyaya vibhagaha nasti. Kintu vyutpannani pratipadikani. Most of the pratipadikas are derived. Kridantam tadhitantam samasascha. So kridantam gatavat iti pratipadikam. These you can split further. There is gam dhatu and there is ktavatu pratyaya. Gam dhatu and kta pratyaya. Vand dhatu and shanach. So you can further derive this. So this is called kridanta. Kridantaha namakaha iti agre punaha pashyamaha. Evam tadhitanta shabdaha santi. Dasharathi iti pratipadikam. Tatra dasharatha iti tadhita pratyaya asti. Bharatiya iti pratipadikam. Bharata tena saha cha pratyaya asti. So derived, these are all derived pratipadikas. Vyutpannam pratipadikam. Etad vina, without any derivation, if you have a plain word with a specific meaning, it becomes an underived pratipadika. Evameva samasaha. Sitapati. Sita iti subantam pati iti sitayaha patihi. Pustakam haste yasya sa. Evam subantanam yojanena samasaha bhavanti. Evam pratipadikam dvividham bhavati. Vyutpannam avyutpannam. So underived pratipadika where it just carries some meaning, and derived pratipadikas which are derived from say krit or tadhita pratyayas or a samasa. Agrepi etad vishaye itopi pashyamaha. Tatra prakritihi ityukte yataha pratyayaha bhavanti sa prakritihi. Prakriti means a root word in this context. Yataha pratyayaha bhavanti. So prakriti is something to which you can add a pratyaya. Dhatavaha pratipadikani cha prakriti samyakani syuhu. So in Samskrita we have two kinds of prakritis. One is a dhatu, the other is a pratipadika. So these are root words. To these root words we add pratyayas to create a pada. That is the basic process of word formation in Samskrita is prakritihi tatra pratyayasya yojanena padam bhavati. Yatha path likh ityadi aupadeshikaha dhatavaha pathi pipathisha ityadi pratyayanta dhatavaha. So derived and underived dhatus both are prakriti. Similarly, pratipadikam Rama gatavaddatr atrapi vyutpannam avyutpannam iti pratipadikam api prakritihi bhavati. So we saw pada. In a pada, the root word is called prakriti. And that prakriti is of two kinds, dhatu and pratipadikam. And what is the other part? The other part is the pratyaya. Linga, sankhya, karaka, sambandhadi, अर्थविशेषाणां यतः प्रतीतिः बोधो वा भवति सः प्रत्ययः. So pratyaya is something which adds special meanings to the root word. What kind of meanings? It could be linga, gender. Say you have aja, to which if you add a pratyaya, it becomes aja, means you are adding the information that it is feminine. You are adding linga information. Sankhya, number. So bala, a boy, you don't know how many. If you add a pratyaya to make it balaha, so that pratyaya is giving the information of plural number. So linga, sankhya, karaka. So again you have bala, you don't know what it is. So if you add a pratyaya like say bale, you add a pratyaya there, it gives that it is an adhikarana karaka. So the information on being a karaka is added by a pratyaya. Sambandha, relation. So you have bala, you add balasya. So of the bala. So whenever you add the pratyaya, it gives a sambandha. Similarly, I mean, it need not be only this. Say Bharatiya, Bharata, something which belongs to Bharata is Bharatiya. And there are Artha Vishesha. Evam Rupena Bahavaha Artha Visheshaha Bodhyante. Kaihi Bodhyante? Pratyayena Bodhyante. So taking the same root word, by adding different pratyayas, we can convey different meanings. So Artha Visheshasya Bodhartham Prakritibhyaha Pratyayanam Yojanam Bhavati. Pratyayaha Prakritibhyaha Parataha Bhavanti. And a pratyaya is always 99% of the times added after a prakriti. So you have a prakriti, to the end of prakriti, parataha means following or to the end. So prakritehe parataha pratyayasya yojanam bhavati. Bahavaha pratyayaha santi, sup, ting, kta, ktavatu, matup ityadi pratyayaha sarvesham pratyayanam vishishtaha arthaha bhavanti. Any pratyaya, most of the pratyayas carry specific meanings. Now, the book gives two major sects of pratyayas are Krit pratyayas and Tadhita pratyayas. Tatra pustake etat sarvamapi purvamapi maya uktamasti. Yadyad neelavarnena atra pradarshyate tat sarvamapi sandhivivekaha ityasmin pustake asti. Asmabhihi idanim पाठ्यपुस्तकम् अधीयमानमस्ति सन्धिविवेकः इति. तत्र प्रथमं संज्ञाप्रकरणं, the first adhyaya called Samnya is what we are studying. All this material is in the book. Okay, I may have changed the order a bit, but if you look at it here, Laghu, Guru, Sanyoga, Guna, Vriddhi, Agama, Adesha, Lopa, all this is in the book. So you can go back and read through the book once. you will be able to understand it better. Okay? So gunaha vriddhihi. Okay, so again padam, upasarga, gati, nipata, sthana we covered last time. Now they are introducing pratipadikam, prakritihi, pratyayah. Under pratyayas we have krit and tadhita. So krit pratyayah nama ke iti chet धात्वधिकारoktaah pratyayah krit pratyayah iti uchyante. Ete dhatubhyah bhavanti. So krit pratyayas are pratyayas which are added to dhatus in specific meanings. There are three kinds of pratyayas which we add to dhatus. So one is ting, one is krit, the other is sanadi pratyayah. So krit samnya api anvartha. Anvartha means a name which is etymologically meaningful. Etehi dhatun pratipadikani kurvanti. So krit means karoti iti krit, that which does, creates something. So what do these create? They create pratipadikas out of dhatus. That is, they convert a dhatu into a pratipadika. That is why they are called krit pratyayas. Pratipadikani kurvanti ityarthah. Kridantatvenaiva dhatunam pratipadika sanya siddhyati. Whenever we add a krit pratyaya to a dhatu, it is converted into a nominal root, that is pratipadikam. So the action, it was in the form of pure action, it is now embedded into a object. Etadapi पूर्वं दृष्टस्य एव बहुधा आवर्तनम् अत्र भवति. So क्तवतु क्त शतृ शानच् शताधिकाः कृत् प्रत्ययाः सन्ति. केचन प्रत्ययाः सर्वेभ्यः धातुभ्यः भवन्ति. केचन प्रत्ययाः विशिष्टेभ्यः धातुभ्यः एव भवन्ति. ते कृत् प्रत्ययाः. So things to remember: कृत् प्रत्यय is always added to a dhatu, no exception. You cannot add krit pratyaya to a pratipadika. It has to be a dhatu. For example, you take tavatu, you cannot add it to say vriksha or putra or ashva. You can only add it to a dhatu like path, likh, pathi, pipatisha. You can add to original dhatus or derived dhatus, but it has to be a dhatu. And the resultant is always a pratipadika. It is no longer a dhatu. You cannot take, for example, you add gam dhatu or path dhatu, you add kta pratyaya, it becomes a pathita. You can no longer use it as a dhatu. So like pathati, pathatah, pathanti, you cannot make pathitati, pathitataha, etc. You have to use it as a nama pada, that is pratipadika. So pathitaha, pathitau, pathitaha, pathitam, pathitau, pathitan. Both ends are fixed. It starts with a dhatu. When you add dhatu and the krit pratyaya, the resultant is a pratipadikam. एवमेव तद्धितप्रत्ययाः तत्तदर्थविशेषेषु प्रातिपदिकाधिकारे उक्ताः. धातुभ्यः अर्थविशेषे कृत् प्रत्ययाः भवन्ति. प्रातिपदिकेभ्यः अर्थविशेषे तद्धितप्रत्ययाः भवन्ति. सो तद्धित, तेभ्यः हिताः तद्धिताः. तेभ्यः नाम प्रातिपदिकेभ्यः हिताः तत्तदर्थावबोधने विहिताः इति अन्वर्थः. So for kridantas we said karoti iti krit. Kim karoti? Pratipadikam karoti iti krit pratyayah. तेभ्यः प्रातिपदिकेभ्यः अर्थविशेषे विहिताः. So those which add specific meanings to pratipadikas are the tadhita pratyayas. तत्र पुनः बहवः तद्धित प्रत्ययाः सन्ति. So tadhitas are much more varied than krit pratyayas. पञ्चशताधिकाः तद्धित प्रत्ययाः सन्ति. अपत्यार्थकाः, भावार्थकाः, मत्वर्थीयाः इत्यादयः. So if we look at the overall scheme, this is something which we should always have in our mind. So at the top level, we have a pada. Yada vakyasya prayogam kurmaha, tatra padani bhavanti. Padam dvividham bhavati, tingantam tatha subantam. Tingantam katham bhavati, dhatuhu, धातुभ्यः विकरण प्रत्ययः तथा तिंग प्रत्ययः. धातु प्लस विकरण प्लस तिंग और आख्यात gives a तिङन्त. अतः तत्र प्रत्ययद्वयं भवति. धातुः प्रकृतिः अस्ति, विकरणः इति प्रत्ययः, तिंग इत्यपि प्रत्ययः भवति. धातुं यदा पश्यामः, धातुः पुनः द्विविधः. औपदेशिकः, an original dhatu which is listed in the dhatu patha, प्रायः 200 धातवः सन्ति. एवं प्रत्ययान्त धातुः अपि अस्ति. So the moment you say pratyayanta, there again we have prakriti pratyaya. Okay, so tatra dhatuः अपि प्रकृतिः भवितुमर्हति, प्रातिपदिकम अपि प्रकृतिः भवितुमर्हति, सनादि प्रत्ययानां योजनेन. So to either a dhatu or to a pratipadika by adding another set of pratyayas. So this is the third set. Here we have vikarana and ting. This is the sanadi pratyaya which can be added to dhatu or to pratipadika. And what do you get? By adding this, you get a pratyayanta dhatu. Udaharanam pashyamah. Dhatuh asti yatha path iti dhatuh asti. Path dhatoho aham san pratyayam yojayami. So san means to want or to desire. Right? So if you add path to san, you get a pratyayanta dhatu called pipathisha. Pipathisha iti pratyayantah dhatuh bhavati. And what do you do with this pratyayanta dhatu? Atra gatva vikarana pratyayasya ting pratyayasya yojanam kurmah chet pipatishati, pipathishatah, pipathishanti ityadi tinganta padani bhavanti. So we started with a dhatu, added a sanadi, got a pratyayanta dhatu, to which we add the vikarana and ting to make a tinganta. You can also start here. Pratipadikam asti. Udaharanam putra iti pratipadikam asti. Okay, means a son. To this, I add a sanadi pratyaya called kyach. Okay. Tada kim bhavati? Pratipadikat sanadi pratyayasya yojane pratyayanta dhatuh bhavati. You get a dhatu which is called putriya. Putriya means desire for a son. That is the pratyayanta dhatu. There again you can add vikarana and ting. Putriyati, putriyatah, putriyanti. Means desires a son. Dasharatha putriyati. You can of course also have an aupadeshika dhatu. Directly this dhatu path you can add vikarana and ting pratyaya. Pathati, pathatah, pathanti. Evam tingantam yatra pashyamaha. So there are different roots of ending up with a tinganta. Etattu asmin parshve. If we look at the other part called subantam. Subante kim bhavati? Pratipadikam bhavati. Sup pratyayah bhavati. So pratipadikam prakritihi. Sup iti pratyayah. So now we have the fourth set of pratyaya. Vikarana, ting, sanadi, sup pratyayah. So pratipadikebhyah sup pratyayasya yojanena subantam bhavati. The pratipadikam again you have avyutpannam. So aupadeshika dhatu and avyutpanna pratipadikam means there is no further breakdown. You have a ready-made dhatu, you have a ready-made pratipadika. Okay. As I said, an example if we want to take, we saw a name which has no derivation. Ditha iti pratipadikam avyutpannam pratipadikam asti. Tatra supratyayyojanena ditthah, dithau, ditthah ityadi rupani bhavanti. And we have on the other side vyutpannam pratipadikam, derived pratipadikas. Tatra kridantam bhavati. The first kind of pratipadika is kridantam pratipadikam. Dhatoho कृत प्रत्ययस्य योजनेन कृदन्तं प्रातिपदिकं भवति. यथा पठ इति धातुः अस्ति, तस्मात् से क्त इति प्रत्ययं योजयामः चेत् पठित इति प्रातिपदिकं, पठितः, पठितौ, पठिताः इत्यादि सुबन्तरूपाणि भवन्ति. So start with the dhatu, get a vyutpanna pratipadika, add supratyaya, then you get a subanta. Evameva tadhitantam pratipadikam bhavati. How do you get a tadhitanta? You start with another pratipadika. For example, you start with, say, buddhi. Buddhi iti pratipadikam asti. Tasmat matup iti tadhita pratyayah kriyate chet buddhimat iti tadhitantam pratipadikam bhavati. To that, if we add supratyayas, buddhiman, buddhimantau, buddhimantaha iti subanta rupani bhavanti. Then you have a samasa. Subantam tatha subantam. By combining two or more subantas, you get a pratipadika, which becomes a samastam pratipadikam. That is a compound word we call. So in a samasa, there is no pratyaya. You are combining two subantas. Okay. For example, you have, say, tapas and dhana. Okay. So you get tapo dhana. Tapas is one subanta. Dhanam. So tapo dhana is a samastapada. Tapaha dhanam yasya saha. He who has only penance as his wealth. So you have a samasa. To the samasa, if you add sup, it becomes a pratipadika. To that you add sup. Tapodhanaha, tapodhanau, tapodhanaha iti subanta rupani bhavanti. So pratipadikas you are deriving by krit pratyayas, adding krit pratyaya to a dhatu, by adding tadhita pratyaya to a pratipadika, or by combining subantas. So here you have two more sets of pratyayas, krit pratyayas which are added to dhatus and tadhita pratyayas which are added to pratipadikas. Now what happens is sometimes in between, right, in this layer, you have a kridanta, tadhitanta or a samasa, you can add a stri pratyaya to add information that you are talking about a feminine thing. For example, you have pathikta becomes pathita. So if you want to specifically convey that it is feminine, so Gita pathita. So to this kridanta, you add a stri pratyaya, then that pratipadika you get pathita, pathite, pathitaha. Maya Gita pathita. Evameva, buddhi and matup, you get buddhimat. To add the information of stri, I make it buddhimati. So buddhimati, buddhimatyau, buddhimatyaha. Tapodhana. So to this, if I want to say it is a woman, so tapodhana, I add a stri pratyaya. So tapodhana becomes the pratipadika. Then you go on to making the subantas. So you have this set of stri pratyayas which can be added to any of these to convey the attribute of stritva. Evam atra padam dvividham asti. Tinganta and subanta are padas. Prakritihi dvividha, dvividha, dhatuhu pratipadikam and pratyayas. If you can visualize only the pratyayas here, there are 7 types of pratyayas in Samskrita. Sup, ting, vikarana, they are at the top level. At the lower level, we have sanadi, krit, tadhita and stri. So sapta vidhaha pratyayaha santi. And these pratyayas are a very unique feature of Samskrita. They convey so much of information. Okay? Say, for example, I have a word like putriyata. Putriyata dasharathena putrakameshtihi akriyata. So putrakameshti was performed by Dasharatha, who desired for a son. So now if you look at this word putriyata, you can note that it starts with putra, okay, which means a son. But to this, I am adding multiple pratyayas to add different meanings. Right? So a desire for a son is added by a sanadi pratyaya. Then on that I add a krit pratyaya to show vartamana kala. On that I add a sup pratyaya to show kartrikaraka. By a person who is desiring for a son. Okay, I think it was 10 words in English can be conveyed by a single word in Samskrita. So by a male person, the linga information is also there. So if you want, say, putri antya, so by a female person who is desiring a son for herself. So this whole phrase is conveyed by this single word in Sanskrit. Okay? That is the power of the language, and that power is derived mainly by this system of prakriti and pratyaya, where you don't have to, go on adding more and more words to it. Instead, you can compress. If we look at a lot of things in Indian heritage, so knowledge compression, to be able to convey a lot using lesser words or shortly, concisely, is an attribute of Vyakarana and Samskrita Bhasha itself. So if we have this framework in mind, any word you take in Samskrita, 100% of the words in Samskrita fall into this framework. You can start at any of the lowest levels. So here, and take any root. Finally, you can use only Subanta or Tinganta. Top level has only 2. But below that, you can work and you can go recursively. So you can go do Kridanta, then go to Tadhita, etc. Okay. So idam yadi manasi asti tarhi samskritasya sarvesham shabdanam samyak avagamanam vayam praptum shaknumaha ekada eva na. Not at the first level. It will require more and more study. Okay. This is just a framework. Once we know the framework, tatra tingantam tingantarupani katham bhavanti, sanadi pratyayaha ke, tesham kaha arthaha, krit pratyayaha ke, tadhita pratyayaha ke, stri pratyayaha ke. So everything we have to expand. So this is just an overview. Everything has things, and Vyakarana is only this much. Vyakaranam ityukte kaha prakritihi kaha pratyayah tesham yojane kim parivartanam bhavati. That is all is Vyakarana. So what do you do? How do you add the pratyaya? What happens? There is always a reaction which happens when you bring together a dhatu and vikarana and thing, or pratipadika and sup. So Vyakarana just tells what is the pratyaya you can add and what are the modifications you make. Okay. So etadeva atyantam sankshepena yadi pashyamaha padam dvividham tingantam tatha subantam. Tingante dhatoho ting pratyayah bhavati, subante pratipadikaat supratyayah bhavati. Avyayam ityatrapi subantameva tatrapi pratipadikaat supratyayah bhavati, kintu pratyayasya lopah bhavati. Prakritihi dvividha, dhatuhu pratipadikam. So in dhatu we have 2 kinds. Again in pratipadika we have vyutpannam and avyutpannam. So if it is vyutpanna, you can derive it from kridanta, tadhitanta or samasa. Okay. And to these kridanta or tadhitanta or samasa, you can add stri pratyayas to indicate feminine attribute. Pratyayah saptavidhah bhavati, supratyayah pratipadikebhyah bhavanti, ting pratyayah dhatubhyah, vikarana pratyayah dhatubhyah, sanadi pratyayah can be added to either dhatu or pratipadika. There are 12 sanadi pratyayas. Krit pratyayas always added to dhatus. There are around 120. Tadhita pratyayas are added to pratipadikas. There are nearly 500 of them. And finally, stri pratyayas are also added to pratipadikas. There are 7 stri pratyayas. Okay. Evam samskrite sarvamapi padajatam vyakyatum shakyate. So there is a star not for this level, at higher level. So there is a thing, but not at all required for this level. So adyatana pathe vayam agamaha adeshaha lopaha etesham trayanam padanam artham jnatavantaha gunaha vriddhihi upadha iti sanyaha tasam artham jnatavantaha evam upasargaha gatihi nipataha padam prakritihi pratyayah. So these are the sets we have learned. And from the next class, so this completes the preliminary prerequisites for sandhis. Agrima pathatvayam sandhinam adhyayanam arabhamahe. Okay. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave na guroh paramam shishurasmi guror matirasti gurau mama pahi guro. वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्